Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. So they've arrested somebody, a suspect for the DC jogger, Wendy Martinez, who was brutally stabbed to death. Presumably in front of a lot of different people, or at least a crowded part of Logan Circle, I think it's called, in Washington D.C. around 8 o'clock. I don't know if it was just a couple days ago, 3 days ago, 2 days ago, and they had surveillance footage of him. You couldn't really see him real clearly, but you could see how he was dressed, and of her entering this Chinese restaurant immediately following the attack. And actually, you know what? I'm going to play you some of the same video here where it's not all blurred out completely. It's still blurred out, but you can see her much better come in. You can see her facial expression. You can even see, I don't know what it is on the floor. I don't know if that's actually blood or what, but it just shows it much more clearly. And so I'll play that right now. But there's also some video of her running in the park or running on the street of the area right before she's attacked. They've released obviously the person's name who was arrested, Anthony Crawford, Anthony Markel Crawford. But there's no photo of him, no mugshot of him, which I do find a little odd. And I found somebody that lived in D.C. by that name, but I'm not going to share that on Facebook. There's three different profiles of the same person who lives in D.C., but I just don't know if that's the person in question or not. I'm sure eventually they're going to show a mugshot, but I did find it a little odd that they didn't release one because he's been arrested. He's in custody. I don't know the booking process and so forth, but here, let me show you the video of her going into the Chinese restaurant and where you get a better look at it. So, here, and I'll unplug.
Police arrest and identify a suspect. It's a terrifying sight. A woman staggers into a Chinese takeout restaurant and customers scatter. They can't believe their eyes. The woman has blood gushing from her neck. Her wounds are so horrifying, we had to blur the video. She begs for help, then collapses. Wendy Martinez was out for an evening jog through DC's trendy Logan Circle neighborhood when a knife-wielding man stabbed her. This video shows Martinez at 8 p.m., seconds before the attack. Cops have arrested this man. He was caught on surveillance video running away from the scene, appearing to hold a knife.
We arrested and charged 23-year-old Anthony Crawford with first-degree murder while armed. The motive in this case is unknown.
All right, so in terms of the suspect who's been arrested, Anthony Crawford, a man with a criminal history, but not a violent criminal history, according to the press conference, the chief of police today said is accused in the murder of Washington D.C. jogger Wendy Martinez, who was stabbed in what authorities say was likely a random attack on a city street. They do not believe robbery was the motive. They don't know the motive. They just are a little bit confounded at why such a brutal attack, unprovoked. Crawford, 23, has been charged. 23 has been. He's 23 years old. I did not know that. Actually, I take it back. That guy, the person I saw on Facebook, was not 23. He was older than 23. Definitely, it's not him. Crawford, 23, has been charged with first-degree murder while armed in the death of Martinez. Authorities announced on September 23rd. They said he was on cocaine. A suspect wanted in the stabbing. Death of Logan Circle has been arrested. D.C. police announced 23-year-old Anthony Crawford has been charged with first-degree murder while armed in connection with the deadly stabbing of 35-year-old Wendy Martinez, who was out for a run Tuesday evening on 11th Street. Okay, so and it says police said Crawford is not homeless. That's what they, I think, had been reported or suspected previously. He has been uncooperative, and Martinez was not robbed. Authorities have labeled the murder both unexplained and brutal. Crawford prosecutors accused Crawford of stabbing Wendy Martinez 7 times and say he was using cocaine. On September 20th, 2018, a job denied him bail after prosecutors said this is a vicious killing of a woman in a well-traveled neighborhood. He was described by an acquaintance to ABC7 as an alleged regular user of K2, a synthetic drug. The attack severed the victim's jugular vein. So he was denied bail. I don't know why it says a job denied him bail after a prosecutor said this is a vicious killing of a woman in a well-traveled neighborhood. Surveillance footage was unveiled in the case the day before Anthony Crawford's name was released by authorities. The brief video showed a man walking down a street swinging his arm. It is odd the way he moves in this video. Definitely, I think everybody agreed that it was just strange the way he walks down the street. Actually, that's a better, more clear video than before. I believe he was arrested in the park, and he did not go. Did not go without a fight. I think he was injured in his arrest. His hand was cut or something like that, and he had to go to the hospital for that. All right, so it continues, and this is that same video of her. Running right before the attack, and but it continues. They emphasize that they didn't know each other and that we don't have a motive. So the chief of police, he repeated at September 20th news conference, we don't have a motive, and said that Martinez and Anthony Crawford did not know each other. The chief added, "It's unsettling for anyone who lives in this city to see this happen. It's an isolated incident. I'm sure that doesn't bring any level of comfort to the Martinez family." And actually, a subscriber had given me some information. JDE Die, thank you, JDE Die, I appreciate it for sure. An NBC Washington report: the crime rate in the area near Logan Circle is relatively low, with few violent crimes reported. DC crime statistics show. The 23-year-old man arrested and charged Thursday in the unprovoked fatal stabbing of a woman who was jogging through DC's Logan Circle neighborhood was known to use the synthetic drug K2, according to court documents. Police say surveillance video of the attacker in the distinct shirt and tips from the public helped them track down the suspect, Anthony Crawford, of Northwest DC, to a park near 14th and Girard Streets. Northwest. Wednesday night, detectives who interviewed Crawford said they didn't provide details about the homicide for which he was arrested, but Crawford told them they were accusing him of stabbing a little girl, according to court documents. He was charged with first-degree murder while armed. After being taken into custody, Crawford was taken to the hospital for an injury on his hand, Newsham said. All right, man. Well, that's the story there. I don't know if that K2 has something to do with it. Obviously, cocaine, mental illness. I don't know, man. I'm not sure what's up with that K2. I think it's just synthetic marijuana, but there's something more to it. And so there's a lot more to the story too as well. Whether it's severe mental illness or what, I don't know. It's very weird. And that's the story there. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below, please. And I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.